Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really quite special, I think. It's a piece you shared called Tomatoes and Stars, My Little Bradbury Moment by Lev Neymotin. And it's this really personal story. It weaves together something as, well, everyday as gardening with the big ideas of classic science fiction.
It really does. It's a fantastic connection.
So our plan today is to really dig into the emotion behind it. What does it tell us about hope, about sticking with things, and maybe those small moments of joy you don't expect?
Sounds good.
Okay, so Lev's story kicks off with a gift, right? Some tomato plants from a friend.
Yeah, but not exactly prize winners.
No, not at all. He says they were withered, weak, basically flat on the ground, looked, beyond help.
Pretty grim picture.
Totally. But he plants them anyway, gives them good soil, fertilizer, water, all the right stuff.
Right, the standard care.
But then comes the tough part for a lot of us. He walks away, and he doesn't check on them for days.
And that's key, isn't it? Why he didn't check.
Exactly. It wasn't just forgetting. He talks about this fear, this reluctance, fear that they'd just be gone, or worse, still looking just as hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
He literally says, sometimes it's easier not to look. That feeling is so strong in the piece, that dread of disappointment after you've put in the effort. I think many of us know that feeling, right? That hesitation.
Absolutely. It's incredibly relatable. And what's so interesting is how that very human feeling, that gardening moment, sparked this literary light bulb for him.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, he instantly remembered a Ray Bradbury story, The Appleseed. Maybe not one of his most famous, but really poignant.
Okay.
It features this character, Johnny, who travels to these dead, lifeless planets, airless worlds, and all he does is plant trees, seeds of potential life.
Wow. Okay. Just planting, alone.
Yeah, this solitary figure in a mask, moving through the void, planting. But the crucial thing is, he never looks back.
Never. Why not?
Because he can't stand the thought of seeing just nothing. A barren landscape. Confirmation that all his planting, all that hope, was for nothing, that nothing is taking root.
I see the connection now. It's that exact same fear.
Precisely. It's that shared emotional core, that deep down fear that maybe your efforts, your hopes haven't amounted to anything. It really taps into something universal, that urge to, plant seeds of hope even when you're terrified they won't grow.
Yeah, it's a vulnerability. Putting yourself out there, trying, but not knowing the outcome yet. So. What happened with the tomatoes? Did he finally look?
He did. He eventually had to face it.
Chased himself, I imagine.
Probably. But when he went out there, they were standing.
Really?
Yeah. Not, huge and thriving yet, but upright on their own stems. He said their stems had straightened, their leaves had sort of opened up to the light.
Wow.
It was like against the odds, life had actually returned. He describes feeling this real breath of hope, like a tiny whisper saying, maybe, just maybe I had done something right.
Oh, that's powerful. Just that little sign of resilience.
It really is. And linking it back, it mirrors the ending of that Bradbury story so beautifully.
How so?
Well, in the story, Johnny, after all those years of planting, finally does look back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see a desert. He sees trees, actual trees, growing tall, making oxygen. And he takes off his mask, and he breathes the air he helped create.
Oh, wow. That gives me chills.
Right. And Lev felt, as he put it, a small version of that same feeling. Not creating a world, maybe, but that same quiet joy, that breath of relief, like something he'd almost given up on had whispered back, I'm still here.
That's beautiful. It's not about the scale, then.
Exactly. It's the feeling, that moment when the hope you held on to, however fragile, actually becomes real.
Which leads perfectly into his main point, doesn't it? He writes about how so many of us live out these small sci-fi stories right in our own lives, our own backyards even.
Without the spaceships.
Right. No rockets, no alien planets, just these quiet acts of taking care of something, hoping for something, facing down our own little fears of failure.
And sometimes getting that amazing payoff.
Yeah. When life somehow takes root, like he says, no rockets, just roots, and still they matter. It sort of reframes where we find the profound stuff, not just out there, but right here.
It absolutely does. And that really leaves us with the thought, doesn't it, for you listening? What are your small sci-fi stories? Where do you find that kind of deep hope, that quiet joy? Maybe it's in those little acts of perseverance, planting those seeds of effort, even maybe especially when you're a bit scared to look back and see if anything's actually growing. Something to think about.